The battle on Ontotho comes to an end all this week on Star Wars Weekly. Hello fellow Star Wars fans, it is Starrapter here and welcome to the channel. Every week I talk about Star Wars comics, novels, TV series, and more. It's especially an awesome time to be a Star Wars fan with The Mandalorian, with The Rise of Skywalker, but it's so nice that we have these comics and novels to bridge us between the weeks and between the epic conclusion of the Skywalker Saga. So this week we have just one comic to talk about, and that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Dark Temple issue number 5. This ties into the video game, which is now out. I'm actually doing a walkthrough for the entire game, and I have my review of the game on the channel right now, so make sure you check that out, because the characters of Cere Junda, as well as Eno Cordova in this comic book, are in the game. So there's lots of cool crossover. That's why we're seeing how everything fits in. So for this specific story, we have the conclusion. They are on Ontotho, this planet where there's these feuding forces that have been there for years, and there's also this corporation that's trying to capitalize off of what's inside of this Dark Temple. So we last left off where we have the character of Cere Junda. She is a Padawan to Eno Cordova, and she is trying to help the people of the Phylari, who are the loyal people to this special region on Ontotho, which has this Dark Temple. So she's currently on their side, going against this Dark Corporation, which has all this technology. As in the meantime, we have Eno Cordova inside of this temple. While this battle's going on, he's trying to discover what this ancient civilization is. And, well, he gets assaulted by one of these Phylari people, and that is kind of where we pick up. So we have Cere Junda. She goes over to the Dark Corporation, who is trying to wrestle power from the locals for this temple, and we have Cere Junda actually talking down the Dark Corporation, actually talking them down enough to where they actually, lay down their weapons and try to escape. But what happens is the Phylari will not let them leave and just continue to kill these people out of just absolute bloodlust, it almost seems like. So by the end of this issue, what happens is we have Cere Junda going into the temple saying, Eno Cordova, you got to get out of here. And while this is happening, we have the Republic coming down. Remember, this is before the events of the Phantom Menace. We have Mace Windu, we have a Sultan Jedi, we have Luminara Unduli. We also have this new Ithorian character that come down to kind of save the day, to help out the people of the Dark Corporation defend themselves with their lives against the Phylari people that are going crazy. So by the end of this issue, we have, unfortunately, the death of this Ithorian Jedi, which I thought was really cool, seeing an Ithorian Jedi. I don't think we've ever seen that in the history of the canon. So really cool actually seeing that. I think his name was Odu, and not sure what the Sultan's name was, but it was cool seeing that. But basically what happens is we have this leader of the Phylari. She wants nothing to do with this Dark Corporation, nothing to do with the Ontothan government. She's the one that's trying to stage all these battles, and we have her about to die, and a boulder's coming down on top of her, and we have Cere Junda using the Force, and she has this bridge of the minds where it's like, oh, you saved me even though we were your enemies, and it's like, that's not the Jedi way to let somebody die, and in doing so, they get out of there safely, and this Phylari character does not come with them to safety, and she stays there at this place, which ends up being the Dark Temple. All that land there gets tainted, because what is so special about this Dark Temple is this ancient civilization, which you learn about in Jedi Fallen Order, have developed this technology using these orbs that have lots of power. So when they went off, they triggered when the ships from the Republic were firing down to help save the Dark Corporation. They kind of triggered a chain reaction and completely destroyed this Dark Temple. So what happens in the aftermath, we have the Republic basically helping this planet out, being a part of bringing these people into the Republic. And then we go back to Coruscant, and we go to the Jedi Temple there, and we have Yoda and everybody talking about how great of a job Cere Junda did. Even though she thought she totally sabotaged this mission, it didn't happen. She actually helped save a lot of people, even the people that were the so-called enemy, the Phylari. She tried to save every one of those she could before the explosion. In doing so, she showed compassion and love for, as a Jedi, which is very, very big. And that whole mission actually gets her promoted to a full-fledged Jedi Knight, which is really awesome, seeing the trials of a Jedi before the events of absolute war like we see during the times of the Clone Wars. So very cool kind of canon material that I don't think we've actually seen in the pages of a comic book, especially just somebody being knighted and having that nice conversation with Eno Cordova. She's trying to call him master, but he refuses, saying like, I'm not your master now, you can refer to me as Eno Cordova. And he's going to go and he's going to do his own thing, more with like the archaeology, the exploration of the galaxy at large with the prior civilizations of the galaxy. And it leaves off with the second sister. We go back to present time. She's on Ontotho. She finds out from that droid that, hey, look, this guy left a datapad, and that turns out to be Eno Cordova, who ended up going to Bogadon, and without giving too much away, you find the Inquisitor on Bogadon at some point in Jedi Fallen Order, and that's how she figures out where your character is. But just talking more in depth about this overall story and how I think it fits in very well to Jedi Fallen Order. I do like the connectivity. You see the origins sort of these characters that you meet later into the game. Especially Cere Junda. You see how headstrong she is, how passionate she is, and how that might get her into trouble, and how that might translate into later years in her life as you're exploring Jedi Fallen Order, as Cal Kestis is finding out the secrets behind Cere Junda, as well as Eno Cordova and what really starts his obsession with the people of the Zepho, this ancient Force civilization. Where does his journey start in all this, and why does he become so obsessed with studying them and seeing the second sister? Was kind of a letdown of a story, in my opinion. I didn't feel like it really amounted to a whole lot. It's kind of cool how it ties in, but it's very much like a small detail. Overall, I think there's a little bit too many words, if that makes a lot of sense. It's too wordy. There's too much explanation, too much exposure, exposition. It's especially in the first couple issues, it's like, okay, where is this story really going? How is this really getting into Jedi Fallen Order? But with that being said, they really do flesh out this world of Ontotho in a very great way. There's new civilizations, there's a lot to build up. So overall, I would definitely recommend, if you've played Jedi Fallen Order, you go ahead and you pick this up in trade paperback form when it comes out, because it's something that I think if you really like this game, you want to see more story revolving these characters, it's definitely a good one to pick up. Next up, this isn't anything new, but it's really cool. We have Star Wars Saga issue number 1. This is a primer to what you can expect from the Star Wars flagship series. So we just had issue number 75 come out, and that was the end of this first phase of Star Wars, if you will. We are getting in 2 weeks the Empire Ascendant one-shot, which is going to combine all these different Star Wars comics, from Star Wars Flagship to Dr. Aphra to Target Vader to Vader as well. It's going to bridge us into The Empire Strikes Back. And then after that, in January, we're going to restart with issue number 1 of Star Wars, going after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. So the whole purpose of this $3.99 book is to go over all the major story points in the Star Wars comics, to give those readers that haven't maybe followed every single arc, or people that are interested in trying. It's a great way to see what has happened in the 4 years already that Star Wars has been producing these monthly comics. So I like how they actually lay out this entire comic, because it does really show you. They have the text there that explains what is happening, the major plot points, and they do a great job of laying out the images. So yeah, I definitely recommend this, and it's really cool. In the back of the book, they also show you like every trade paperback, so if you're specifically hunting for a certain story, you can find one easily. But yeah, this is a great thing that Marvel put out, because it's going to hopefully bring in more readers and entice more people, especially if they're going to jump into issue number 1 coming out in January. You can just buy this and for the most part understand like maybe some of these side characters like Sana Starros and who is Dr. Aphra, because it does a decent job of really just like simplifying and just kind of paraphrasing what exactly these characters are meant to do. So next week, you guys can look forward to a big week for Star Wars. We are having 2 major comic books come to an end. We have Target Vader, issue number 6, as well as Dr. Aphra, ending with issue number 40, although it will be restarting as well in April. Plus, we have Star Wars Adventures, issue number 29, to end the journey to Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. So what did you guys think of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the Dark Temple series? Did you enjoy it? Did you play Jedi Fallen Order and also read this like me? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I talk about Star Wars on a weekly basis, as I mentioned. So I am doing my The Mandalorian reviews as well as Star Wars Resistance are still coming out. I will be reviewing those as well. Plus everything else that happens with Star Wars, I try to stay on top of it. So make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as hit that notification bell icon so you'll be alerted when future videos like my walkthrough videos for Jedi Fallen Order go up. That is going to do it for me, Starrapters. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.